Hi guys, Mr. Wilson here, and we're going to have a look at what we call cumulative frequency. So we use the cumulative frequency to find the median and what we call interquartile range, but there's a few things we've got to do first before we can get there. So one of the first things you need to do is find out the total. And sometimes they give you this at the top. Well, actually, most of the time they give it to you at the top, but it's 26, and I'll show you why that's really important to know that total in a second. So what we can do, we can find the median group from this data. So which of these groups contains the middle person? Well, if there's 26 in total, we say the middle is the 13th one. So if we add up these frequency numbers until we get to 13, we'll have identified the 13th person and therefore the group that he is in. So 6, add 5 is 11, add another 8, we've gone to 19. So here we're at 11, we hadn't found the 13th, so he must be in here, and therefore the median group is this. But using a cumulative frequency diagram, we can find it a little bit more accurately. So to do that, we calculate what is called a cumulative frequency. So these are the questions we ask. So this is height. So how many people were less than 110? Well, that was 6. So now this time we're going to accumulate things, so we're going to keep it growing. So how many are less than 120? Well, that was these 5 and also the 6 from before. So you can see we are growing this, we're accumulating it, we're adding these together to make 11. Now, how many were less than 130? Well, it's the 11 from before plus this new 8, which is 19. And this process keeps going on, so 19 add 5 and 24 add 2. So this is the important bit, what I said about at the start. If you know how many there are, you must make sure that these match. If they don't, you know straight away you've made a mistake. Now, what we're going to do is turn this into a graph, and the cumulative frequency is our vertical axes, and you'll see where the crosses are here, they're positioned on these end points. So cumulative frequency, you always plot the end points, not the midpoints, not the start, it's always the end. And it's easy to remember because I was asking you how many were less than 120, how many were less than 130, so these were the numbers I was using. So I'll just plot those for you. Obviously this isn't accurate and you'd have squared paper, but you'll get the gist of it. Now what we're going to do, we're going to join these points but with a smooth curve, and we're trying to form something that resembles an S shape. Something like that. Now, earlier we found the median group because there was 26 people, we said it's the 13th. So I'll actually do the same, we'll go along from 13 to the line and down, and I get my median, let's say 122. Now, if I go, if this is halfway, if I think quarter, so that's half of a half, that would be 6.5. And if I do that, what we get is what we call our lower quartile. And if we go at 3/4, so let's combine these two numbers in red, 13 and 6.5, that'd be 19.5, and I get bang on 130. So using this information, we can calculate the interquartile range, which is 19. So it's similar to range, but it's showing where the middle 50% is. And I'll cover the middle 50%, etc. in a bit more detail in a minute when we do box plots. But one thing I will point out, they love to ask you questions like this. So let's say these were actually people, like children probably because they're quite small. And it said estimate how many people were taller than 148. What you would do, you would go up from here at 148 and then along. So let's say I get it to, let's say 25 for argument's sake, and we know there was 26 in total. We would say therefore there is one more extra. So you'll be using your graph all the time. Just look at the question and it should make sense. You're just always going up and along, and that's basically it. So best of luck and try some.